Have you ever heard this piece of classic sales advice? Sell them what they want and then give them what they need. On the surface, it sounds brilliant. Of course, if you make it easy for people to get what they want, they will buy. But what if selling people what they want is actually making it harder for you to succeed in sales? Join us for this episode of Sales Fiction, where we dive into the myth of selling your customers what they want and give some real talk on what you should be doing instead. Welcome to Sales Fiction, a podcast that helps small sales teams get big results. I'm your host, Christy Lawrence, the founder of Mighty Sales and a longtime sales professional who traded my corporate sales career to help small but mighty teams do more with less. Each week on this podcast, we separate sales fact from sales fiction so that you can hyper-focus your effort on the skills, strategies, and tools that will have the biggest impact on your bottom line. Let's dive right in. Let's imagine for a minute that I want a house on the river with a pool for less than $400,000. Now, if you happen to be a real estate agent who has that house listed, or be a real estate agent who knows of that house and knows that I want it and is talking to me, I'm going to buy it. Done deal. Easy peasy. Except if getting what I wanted was that simple, I'd already have it. And when you focus your sales on people that know what they want and what they want is readily available, what you end up doing is commoditizing your business, which puts you in a position to sell on price, which is the last place you want to be. The truth is, most of us spend a lot of time being unsure about what it is that we really want. And once we identify it, it's easy for us to find solutions. We can go into the internet, Google, find thousands of responses, and now there's a lot of competition and choices for me as a consumer to get what I want. And here's the real kicker about selling people what they want. What people actually want is pretty simple: peace, love, belonging, safety, acceptance, validation. And you can't sell them any of those things. They're not yours to give. So how do you help your potential customers? To win more business, you need to get really good at helping people discover what they want before they know what it is. You need to help them listen to themselves, help them get more clear on the tangible expression of their desires, help them to really hear their struggles and their dreams. The number one job in sales is to listen. When you listen, you can help your prospects clarify their goals, their wants, and their desires, ideally with input from you, so that they can create a strategy to get them. I'm going to tell you a real example of how this looks like. I walked into an orthodontist office, and Kylie, the office manager, was the only one in the room. I introduced myself, and she said, "There is no way I'm going to get the doctor that I work for to change our software. He's absolutely not going to learn something new." And when I think about this, really what she wanted was her job to be simple and easy and the doctor to be happy. After empathizing with her that the thought of changing everything over would be overwhelming, I simply asked her if I could share 3 reasons people typically go through the hassle so she could then decide if any of those reasons were relevant to them. She said, sure. And so I went through some reasons with her. And after I did that, I started to just pay attention to, did any of these reasons seem to resonate? Did she get a little spark in her eye? Did she nod her head a little bit differently? Did she actually give me verbal feedback? And what happened is after that conversation, I was able to discover that there were some things that weren't working in their software. There were things that were making her job harder, things that she didn't know that there was a solution to, and things that she didn't know that she wanted until she knew they were available. Essentially, I helped her discover that there was a need and a solution at the same time. The need was always there, but she'd become blind to it. She'd become accustomed to it. This happens so often with our customers. They're so used to doing things a certain way that they don't recognize the way that they're doing it is a problem. So they don't look for solutions. They don't actively identify what they want because they think they already have it. I'm going to use this example of when I was just out of college. I was hanging out with my sister and we were going for a walk and she'd just gotten glasses. And I was like, hey, let me try on your glasses. I put them on and I was like, oh my goodness, everything's so bright and I can see everything so clearly. Is this how everybody sees? Is this how you're supposed to see? Until I put on those glasses, I had no idea that I wanted to see better. I had no idea that I wasn't seeing the way that I should be seeing. It reminds me of the Henry Ford quote. If I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. Oftentimes, your customers can easily describe a problem that they're having. In this case, we're talking about the horses example, wanting to get somewhere faster. But they might not be aware of or able to articulate the best ways to achieve that goal. Or if we go back to my example in the orthodontist office, her goal was to do her job easily, to do her job without any headaches. But she didn't know that there was this barrier that was actually stopping her from doing that until we had a conversation about it. Really, what you're trying to do here is instead of focusing on what your customer wants, what they've already identified that they want, is to actually help them get clarity about what they want while simultaneously delivering the solution to the new want that's been discovered. So how do you help people identify what they really want and a path to get there? First and foremost, be empathetic. Put yourself in your customer's shoes. Ask yourself, if this was my life, if this was my reality, if I was an office manager in an orthodontist office, if I was a customer or a consumer who had just moved to a new city and I was living in temporary housing, I wasn't sure how long I was going to be in this new location, what are the challenges and things that would be going through my mind? But don't just guess. Ask questions. So in addition to being empathetic, it's really, really important to be curious. Ask good questions. The questions aren't just designed to help you get information. The questions should be designed to help your customers think through things differently and get more clarity. And then listen, not just to the words, but to the tone of voice, to the expressions. Pay close attention to the details of what they're saying. Hone in to see if there's anything underneath it. Really listen to the cues and words they're using. And when you feel like you've hit on something, go deeper with them. Ask follow-up questions. Don't just skim the surface. Most of the time, the clues underneath what they really want are so subtle that the person you're talking about has no idea that they've said them or that they're thinking them, which is why they haven't identified this need already. So when you can help them to hone in on the micro details and subtleties of what they're experiencing and what their goals are, you can shine a spotlight on their true needs and desires. And when you do that, you are right there when they discover what it is what they really want, while simultaneously sharing how you can help them achieve that. This is important because at that point, you're no longer a commodity. You are the solution. You've helped them find the solution the moment they discovered the need, which means they can eliminate all that Google searching, all of that research, all of that time talking to your competitors, trying to discern which is the best option for them. And instead, they can focus in on how to implement the solution, which helps you to be a true resource to the customers and also to help you stop commoditizing your business and selling on price. So if you want to take your sales to the next level, don't wait until your prospects know what they want. Help them identify it and then help them get it. Do this by putting yourself in their shoes, being empathetic, asking great questions, pinpointing hidden pain points, and paying close attention to their words and their tone so you can help them achieve clarity and provide solutions simultaneously. Next week, we are going to have the pleasure of having a guest on Sales Fiction, Mindy Miley, who is an amazing sales talent. She has been in sales for more than 20 years and led sales teams, is going to be joining us next week on Sales Fiction and sharing her insights into why hustling is hurting your sales and give you some insights about what to do instead. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, if you liked this episode of Sales Fiction, make sure to give it a 5-star review and to subscribe so you can get fresh episodes downloaded as soon as they're available.